What's up guys, Kevin with On Point Pro Styles in Gainesville, Georgia, here with another video. This time I'm going to introduce you to Plotter Depot's EcoCut plotter as well as their Workhorse plotter. The Workhorse plotter uses a servo motor, so a lot quieter, and the Eco uses a stepper motor. So I'm going to go through kind of the ropes on both machines, show you some key differences, and we'll kind of compare the two. Let's get started. Okay guys, so I have both machines set up and ready. Now I can only run one machine and power machine, or I can only run and power one machine at a time. So we're gonna start off with the EcoCut machine. We'll go through the ropes with it, and then once we're done with that, we'll move over to the Workhorse, and then we'll finalize it, kind of compare the two with some final thoughts. Okay guys, so I took my wireless mic out so that we can hear this a little bit more fair. I'm going to hold the mic to the machine so you can kind of get an idea of what a stepper motor sounds like when we turn it on. So I'm going to power up the machine, and I'm going to put the mic close to the machine so you can hear it a little bit better. Unbearable? No. Sort of obnoxious? Yeah, a little bit, but aside from that, if you can get past that, it's a good cutting machine. It works well. One of the main differences between this and the Workhorse or the Workhorse II plotter is this one works a little bit higher, other than obviously the stepper motor. The other two use a servo motor, but this one works a little bit higher on a gram force, that, you know, the force that the needle needs, or I mean the blade needs to cut the film. I set this one up and got it to the 212 gram mark. I can probably do a little better than that, maybe bump it down a little under 200. I haven't played with it since I set it up, but we're gonna just leave it there. We're gonna cut some film. You see it's got 3 pinch rollers on it. The Workhorse comes, I believe, with one more on the 28 inch anyways, and these are available, I believe, in the 53 inch, both the Workhorse and the EcoCut machine. So anyways, we're gonna keep going with this EcoCut machine. You see, it's got its stand, it's got a basket, it's got media rollers on the back. The controls on the top are very much the same, so I'm gonna save those till a little bit later. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a roll of film in here, and we're gonna cut it out, and you can see it in action, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. So I've set up a 20-inch roll in here. You can see that it takes a 20-inch roll quite well from this far spot here and the second notch here. A 24-inch roll is going to probably, you know, it's going to stretch from this first roller all the way to the end roller. But anyways, it sits very well. One key note that we'll go over tips and tricks later, but you saw I pulled a lot more film out. That allows the film to rest to keep it centered. So you're not cockeyed one way or the other. So I just kind of pull it. I get it on the rollers where I need it. I add a tiny bit of tension with my hand. We're gonna lock it down. Put it in the spot. Let's cut a pattern. Okay, so I've got a 25-degree blade in here that I've already preset. It's ready to go. I did some test cuts just to make 100% sure, but anyways, we've got our 20-inch roll, got a 25-degree blade. I'm gonna hit the cut button and we're gonna watch it cut out. Yes, sir. She's loud, but we have a pattern. There you have it. Now let's move over to the Workhorse and check out the difference. Okay guys, so we've got the Workhorse plotter. This is a servo motor plotter. It's a lot quieter, a little bit more precise. It has 4 rollers as opposed to the 3 that the EcoCut has. It's a 20-inch roll very nicely. As you can see, that's what I have loaded here, and it's a 24-inch roll very nicely. So great plotter to do side doors if you were getting the 28. But we're gonna turn this one on. You're gonna hear how much quieter a servo motor is. I'll get real close to it with the mic. So let's turn this bad boy on. Now in this particular one, the carriage doesn't reset. So we're going to do that manually. Try to get real close. And I'll feed some film. So you can hear just how much more quiet this machine is. So let me get it set up. I've got a 25-degree blade. Let's do a test cut. Got 63 grams of force on that, as opposed to the 212 we had on the other machine. Get close to it, you can hear it cutting. And we have a pattern. Hung up right here. I need to dial that in a little bit better, but as you can see, I need to tweak it, but with a little bit of tweaking, it's a fine cutter. So let's go over the buttons on the top. The button panel on the top of this is exactly the same as the EcoCut. So your main screen consists of your speed setting and your force setting on the bottom. This particular machine, you saw it cut at 240 millimeters per second. I've cut as fast as 400, but you really want to make sure that it's dialed in. The faster it cuts, the more trouble you can run into in the event that something hangs up, the film tracks off, the film starts to bunch. If it's running fast, it can go haywire really, really fast. The force, I cut at 63 grams on this, as opposed to the 212 I had to use on the EcoCut. So much, much better downforce to be able to cut on this Workhorse plotter. So a couple of things real quick. As you saw me moving the carriage head, all you do is you hit the on-off line button. Your force buttons and your speed buttons become direction buttons for your carriage. And well, that's your force buttons left and right on the carriage. Your speed buttons become the feed the film, pull the film, feed the film, pull the film. Simple as that. You've got a reset button, you've got an options button, you have a set button, which you probably won't ever use. That's the baud rate and the offsets and things that it usually comes pre-programmed. You have a test function that cuts this little 1-inch square, helps you dial the blade in really, really good. A laser function we don't use in the tint world. Enter button. So super easy to use. On, off, move the carriage head, move the film in and out, on, off again, or hit the enter button, it's ready to cut. Both the EcoCut and the Workhorse display panels both work the same. Pretty easy. All right, guys, so final thoughts. What's the takeaway from all this? Well, hopefully this helps you better understand and see the greatest difference between the EcoCut machine and the Workhorse machine, and the big difference between a stepper motor and a servo motor. My recommendation, servo motor all day long. Hey, if you got to get into the budget machine and that's the only way to get you started, EcoCut's the way to go. If you can get into something a little bit better, you can push it up to the Workhorse. It's my highly, highly recommended machine. Like I said, you saw I got the EcoCut to cut. It works. I just don't see that to be your long-term machine. It's going to last a long time, especially being in the tint world. If you're doing any kind of volume, you're going to want something a little bit more reliable. So definitely look into the Workhorse plotter. I guess last is the Workhorse comes with the extra roller, works on less gram pressure, servo motor's a lot quieter. EcoCut, stepper motor, a lot louder, comes with 3 rollers, but you saw with tint you only need the 2, so you're fine either way. So that's it, guys. Hope that helps you understand the difference between the 2 plotters, what my recommendation is, how they work. If you need any help, reach out to us. Look out for the video series. We're going to do tips and tricks, blade setup, all kinds of stuff. So reach out to plotterdepot.com if you're interested in any of the plotters. Reach out to me if you need any help. Thanks. Catch you on the next one.